as you can see, Rekieta win reaps Ralph reward. Now, we don't know when or if that reward's actually going to come, to be honest with you. I did talk, had a little chat with Josh. I didn't expect that, but I sent him a DM, and then I guess he was just happened to be sitting there. So we had a little back and forth, friendly back and forth, actually, and we didn't disagree on everything. So that was a little surprising, I guess. But like I said, I just sent him a message about, hey, looking forward to collecting. I didn't say it like that. I was talking about what I might spend it on, etc. That it wouldn't go toward hedonistic activities. But then we had a little back and forth, again, private discourse. But he did talk about one thing I saw in his stream, which I also agree with. So I can talk about that, which is that I think it was probably part of the plea deal, maybe informally, that footage would not come out. And also exactly what I said happened. It's a small town, dude. They act quick. And it really, if they would have did things right, he wouldn't have even got to send his representative there to view some of the footage. I don't think they got to see it all, but they acted, I guess, overnight or immediately this morning. I haven't seen the actual orders, but they did exactly what the county attorney there asked them to do, and change the record where it wasn't part of the evidence, or retroactively. And so now nobody has a right to the footage. And they said, it couldn't happen. It couldn't happen. They're going to intervene. They're going to do this. I said, you guys don't know how it works in a small town. You don't fucking know how it works. And I don't know. I guess some people were surprised, but I was not. Sheriff's on the same side. County attorney's on the same side. Which side do you think the judge is going to be on? Unless it's an egregious violation, which I know Josh thinks this is, but I don't think so. Of course, we're talking about the body cam footage from the Rekieta arrest, which Josh has been fiendishly after for, I don't even know how long now, but quite some time. Again, I don't know if you got the alerts here on Rumble. I can't use Studio because it cuts off the end of the show. I thought about using it anyway, but I don't know. Maybe I'll mess around with it this weekend and try to fix that. But here's also the Butch Killigan stuff. I took a picture of that for Twitter. I might get into that later. Probably what I'll first do is play Rekieta's reaction from last night. Also, we're going for, 216 in a row on the goal streak. Now, we'll see if we hit it. If we do hit it, we're going to watch a movie. So we shall see. It's already, 4% of the way there out of the 250. So, we'll see. It's been quite some time since we haven't hit it. But, there was that one day where the power went out. And then I think New Year's Day, there was some type of technical difficulty. So I didn't count those. So if the power goes out, which is actually possible, I'm shocked that hasn't happened. Sometimes when it's really hot here in Merida and everybody's using their air conditioning, the power grid can be put under some strain. But thankfully, that hasn't happened, at least while I've been here. So maybe it happened while I was out of town. But
oh yeah, so briefly, I guess this morning before I got some I got some negative news about someone who
I actually stayed up and watched this when I should have been asleep.
Looked up to, and and I got some negative news about their health today. And I, it just hit.
Nick went live last night at earlier.
So I didn't
2 a.m. Eastern.
Trial ending really early in the day. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just put it in for a little bit and not do a trial stream because I was in a down mood and it wasn't a good time to be on camera for that. So that's what happened earlier. We'll see how everything goes. But I got good news earlier as well.
I did hit it yesterday.
In
Yes,
regards to something.
the goal, and the day before too. It just cut it off because I was using Rumble Studio, which I don't know. Like I said, it cuts it off at around 6.5 hours or 6:34 or something like that. I don't know why it's doing that. It wasn't doing that before when I used Studio, but every time I've used it over the last month or so, it does that, and I don't know why.
That's out there, or that particularly isn't out there. That there's a fat retarded man who claims to be in Siberia, but I think actually lives somewhere in the States now. Who's really, really like desperately trying to get it, but he didn't read the law, and he got.
Damn it! I have no chocolate.
Well, I got good news, so
I do
that
have
was
yogurt
funny.
though.
But I'm not going to sit and make like a spectacle of it.
No spectacles,
Because it's
no
not funny.
spiked footballs.
In general,
Me
you know, it's
either.
not like a. it's
I'm
not a
definitely
game.
not spiking the
person
football
has
and
experimental
saying I
problem.
told you so.
They're obsessive and they're a toddler when they don't get their way.
Release the body cam footage if Josh can do 10 push-ups.
It'll never come out. Not with that attitude. Not with that energy. Why are you gloating? No one signed off on the request, and 2 judges.
So
have
somebody
said
in
to
chat-
release it.
They're obsessed with Rekieta being on something. He said Rekieta's live and is on something. Dude's wobbling his head. Yeah, I don't think so, but I'm sure if he is on anything, it's prescription and allowed. Josh is confident that he's going to go back to prison and violate his probation somehow. He said that on air. I didn't talk to him about that, but I'm pretty confident that he's not going to do that because he has everything to lose. And so I don't know. We'll see. It's tough being on probation for 5 years. It's tough being on probation for any amount of time, really, over a couple months because it's just always there. And so, anything over like a traffic ticket can really fuck you up. So, I hate that for him, but I think, he might get off it early. It might not be the full 5 years. And also, like I said, I'm confident that he's gonna make it.
2 judges have not said to release it. What are you talking about? That being said, someone who filed for the request under a false name and has spent the past several weeks on the internet talking about.
Now, I heard him say that last night, and I was thinking, we've talked about, Josh's name change, and I don't know if he filed it under Joshua Connor Moon. I don't know how that works exactly, but it seems like that was specifically brought up with his attorney, et cetera.
Actual purpose of the body cam probably shouldn't go before the court and say that it's for news gathering purposes or public interest when it's clearly for private interest, a private interest of conducting a campaign of public shame. Courts don't like it when you lie.
That's true.
I don't know if Josh knows that or not. So anyway, like I said, it's it's not a game to me at all. It might be a game to Josh, and that's fine. And he can lie to the courts, and he can do whatever he's going to do. But I'll just let the process work through it, and I think the law is on my side, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out, I suppose. It would be kind of embarrassing if the first time I ever won in court was against Josh.
This part just made me laugh.
Right? I mean, I've won in court before, but that's the narrative. So
Hit
since
the
I lose
like
every
button.
case, it'd be really embarrassing if Josh lost against me.
Nick, I have a friend who doesn't believe me that you didn't cheat on your wife. Can you please explain to them how it wasn't cheating?
No, I'm not going to talk about that on this show. Tradeo says, or not Tradeo, Hookah Cat. I'm not going to read Tradeo's. He can go fuck himself.
When there was that whole drama.
Now, this part I
between,
didn't
Legal
see.
Bites and Nick Rekieta.
I only watched the
over,
beginning. Now, that was a little clip there, but
who should be covering a trial or whatever. And then
There was no drama over that. Legal Bites got weird. I just said, hey, you should cover it. as much as you want, and I won't even invite anybody onto my show. I'll suggest that if they want to come onto my show after yours, they certainly can, but I will, whatever. I'll step over here and I'll just do this. And then, so I invited new people to my show because I was like, I would like friends to be on the show with me. And that's what I did with the Johnny Depp thing. And Legal Bites was like, this is mine. This is my thing. I own this. And I was like, oh, all right, that's weird. I'm going to stream it on my show, though, and I won't get in your way. That was the drama. Like, that was it. And then she kicked Larry out of LawTube or whatever. It was super gay and weird. Apparently, her husband wanted to hit me. Probably still does. That'd be fun.
What?
I'd said some things, and there was this whole campaign, and I just stood out of it and didn't comment when things like
This is uncivil law for those who don't know.
There was this really public blow up between the two of them, and
there wasn't a blow up between the two of us. I said I had a very calm video as to why I didn't want to be in LawTube, and I gave very good advice on everybody in it. Like, don't do this. Every community collapses and crumbles, and they'll turn into infighting, and it's really dumb because people get jealous.
Never seen that before.
Just do your own shows. Like, just do your
Not
shows and invite
once.
people on. And please don't put me in there. I don't want to be in an organized thing called LawTube at all. So keep me out of it, because you shouldn't be able to throw someone out or bring someone in or whatever. No one should be in charge of that. I was right. Still am. 100%. Palmyra Media says a lot of people seem to forget or don't know what Kurt did or didn't do as a friend or so-called. Instead, he decided for clicks over friendship. Yeah. I didn't like that. And I was mildly ribbing Kurt over it. And I mean, he torched the friendship with that, but I was just making fun of him. And then he took the voices away, and I just thought that that was a mistake. That was a mistake when he's like when he went after the company and said, "Please take my voice down" or whatever. Then it's like, okay, well,
they're talking about super tips.
Now you're getting mocked, and then with the mockery has come.
And I haven't talked about powerchat.live/the Ralph Retort, $ Sunset Squad on Cash App, and Rumble Rants, the ways to support the show here today.
The revelations of this, I'm
not on super tip.
Somewhat wrong, but the revelations of this have been. Someone's like, "Why didn't you bring this up before? Well, I didn't know he did this." And it says it was published a year ago. I was kind of busy.
This is not
I didn't see this
really body cam related,
recently.
people do that, sure.
And I do not condone or endorse his statements about minors, and it has like I already was very uncomfortable with how he treated women in general. The minor statements have put me over the top. Like someone's like, "Is there a place where you guys reconcile?" Like, no, not anymore. Like, no.
We played that clip, I think, at one point. I don't know. He was being creepy. I guess he invited. Was it he invited? I don't know. I saw the clip, but I forget exactly what he said. So if I'm wrong, don't hold me, right to the record. But something about inviting them over, or anyone of a certain age, I don't remember, over to eat something, some type of casserole or some shit. I fucking forgot. If somebody has the clip, link it. But I don't really remember. Oblivion says, I need to see the footage. Well, I don't want you to see it because I have a $5,000 bet. So also, I don't really think people are entitled to the footage. Now, I know people can disagree with that, but the case is over. The county attorney there in Kendi, Ohio, I'm finally learning how to say that fucking place, also agrees with me. And I guess the judge signed off. I haven't seen the orders. I saw the order yesterday when we stream sniped potentially criminal, but I haven't seen whatever was ordered early this morning or overnight. But there was a period, I guess, 2 or 3 days where you could go up there to the courthouse. I think it's the courthouse, and view the footage. And so Josh didn't go up there himself. He sent, I guess, some local that he knows or contacted him somehow, some local woman there, to go view the footage. And she got to see, I think it was 2 out of the 3 clips or something like that. And she took some notes. We do have those notes. I know he went over them because I listened to a lot of his broadcasts going over it. But we may go over it. I don't know. I guess we probably will. But there was nothing really shocking from what I heard or what I skimmed through. I mean, I guess the house was a little messy. I was listening to Josh, and he was like, "Well, there were boxes in the garage," and I was like, "Well, I mean, that's pretty normal." But maybe we will go through it, and I'll pull up Josh's reaction. I didn't see the beginning of his stream. I know it was having problems working at certain points during the listening session that I was having with it, at least. And so at least I'm not the only person. I don't know if he's on Rumble Studio or not, maybe, but I don't think he uses Rumble Studio. But I'm not 100% certain on that. But anyway, maybe I'll pull his, just the beginning and the end of his reactions up. And then maybe I'll go through the notes. I do have them here. Let me see. Hold on, let me go back. Like I said, I didn't see the beginning. Yeah, I gotta hit this button. Now you can hear it. Yes, maybe. He's just not saying anything. All right. Okay. Oh, he's got
right
songs.
to access things.
Oh, right.
There's a constant. Not going to go. Would be getting right into it. This is just.
Now, he said he was going to take it all the way, which I guess in theory would include the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court, there's zero chance they would take this case up. But you probably could get it to the Minnesota State Supreme Court. They might. I don't know. But I don't. Maybe there's some federal appeal. I don't even know. I'd have to look at the chart. There's a certain progression that you go through when you're trying to appeal. So I'd have to look at the chart to see which venues. I mean, in theory, you could take it to the Supreme Court, but they would have to accept the case. You don't just have a right to be heard at the Supreme Court because they pick certain cases they think are constitutionally significant, or if it deals with life and death, death row inmate or something like that, or something really heavy. Otherwise, they don't take the case. Or if it's a political, hot potato, they might take the case. Otherwise, they don't just take every case. I don't see this as some type of political hot potato. I would be shocked and honestly appalled and amazed if they were to take this up. So I think there's zero chance that would happen.
Just the Nick Rekieta video from evidence. And then the clerk for the county sent emails to all 3 of the women saying, don't show up today. You're not going to go see it. So in concert.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go back a little bit. So I want to hear. I guess he explains. I exactly what I said would happen happened. Now, I didn't know that they even had this time. And it seems like, from what I've heard, I guess Rekieta's attorney, I don't think he entered it into evidence. He put it in the evidence portal or something like that. I don't think it was officially entered at the omnibus. I didn't hear any talk about it. But it might have been in the, again, I haven't read every little detail about this, but I think it was in the portal as possible evidence, but not officially entered. I'm not sure, but if I was Rekieta, I would be a little frustrated that they even had these 3 days to view it, because I'm sure this was probably discussed. I don't know this. I wasn't told this. I haven't even talked to Nick about it outside, public tweets. So I don't know. But I would assume this was discussed as part of the plea deal. And it seems like there was some type of, just miscommunication on this. So they had, I don't know, 2 or 3 days to go up there and view it. So that's how they got the notes in the first place. But they quickly put the kibosh on that. And I said last night, you know what? They moved even faster than I thought they would. But you know, if everybody's on the same page and it's a small town, like the whole county. I looked this up on Discord last night during our call. I think the whole county has like 42,000 people. His city has like 1,000 people. That's a pretty small fucking place. When I was growing up, you know, I born in Memphis, lived across the bridge in West Memphis. There was about 28,000 people there. So that's like a, you know, big metropolis compared to 1,000, and less than 50,000 for the whole county. Not a very big place. Also, no, we can see this.
Everything about Rekieta's house on the internet now, chat. Okay, I was told, I was instructed by Rekieta that I am supposed to tard rage on stream today, and so tard rage I will. Here is the update, and as I said, I warned you, I would be getting right into it. This is just a Nick Rekieta video from evidence, and then the clerk for the county sent emails to all three of the women saying, "Don't show up today. You're not going to go see it." So in concert, the
don't go to school today,
representing the interest of Rekieta, submitted something to the judge, who within minutes of the court opening closed it, and then instructed the county clerk to tell them not to come.
Oh, also, Ada Wolf sent this in at the beginning, but it didn't pop on the screen. Call Josh a grape because he's gonna welch on that deal. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I already know he's gonna take it as far as he can. So, you know. Today is not the day to collect anyway, but we'll see if he honors the deal. He didn't say he wouldn't when we had the chat. I will say that, but I already know he's going to take it as far as he can, and I think I said that last night. If the Supreme Court would take it up, he would take it all the way to the Supreme Court. So. I just don't see. I don't see it getting overturned at any juncture, but I could be wrong. He said his lawyers are working pro bono on it, so you know, it's not really costing him. Well, it's not costing him anything. So
the body cam footage was cut off.
That's what pro bono means, free.
Previously available to us, and I'm going to get into details and do a full recap. But that is the update: is that Rekieta is going to be very smug because this has happened. But this is not the end of it. I have mentioned that I have two attorneys who have volunteered out of personal indignation at this point to help get the footage, and we will be suing Candy, Ojai County to get the footage because
that's not going to work.
Because quite frankly, what they're doing is unconstitutional.
But lawsuits take a while.
Constitutional right to know about the process of the judicial system, and the Supreme Court of the United States has upheld on several occasions that the public does in fact have a right to access things that were used as evidence, and the body cam videos were used as evidence, as I will explain. So here's a timeline of what has happened with the footage. You ready?
Give us the timeline.
Way back when.
Josh never gets a timeline wrong, by the way. I wanna say, but.
In the early stages of the case, Rekieta had the idea.
Did they just lose the evidence? No, they shut it down. So, like I said, I think it was supposed to be shut down from the start, but they didn't quite dot every I and cross every T on that. So there was a 3-day period there, and Josh talked about it later on in the stream. He didn't tell anybody. Of course, he was keeping it on the low. So there was a 3-day period where people could go up there and see it, and he sent somebody up there, and that's how they got the notes in the first place. But then they put the kibosh on it.
An idea that he would try to get some of the evidence thrown out in his case by saying that April Imholt was not properly Mirandized. We don't know. I'm sure you do know, but just to cover bases, in the United States, the anybody who is talking to the police needs to be informed that they are supplying evidence that can and will be used against them in a court.
That's not exactly true, by the way. You do not always have to be read your Miranda rights. There's certain cases where you do not have to be. At a certain point, you do. And let's see. And I'll look that up to be clear. Yeah, see, it's only when you're taken into custody. So you don't have, like, if so you can be detained. First, there's like progressions. You know, you just stop by the police, right? Then they're like, okay, you're being detained. That doesn't mean you're being arrested, but it's a enhanced level. You don't have to be read your Miranda rights even when you're detained, I don't believe. Let's see. Oh, no, that's when you do have to be, when you're detained. Okay, so I'm wrong. Miranda rights, which include the right to remain silent, the right to an attorney, must be read to an individual when they're taken into custody and being interrogated. Yes, so when you're arrested or detained, but if you're just stopped, you don't have to be read your Miranda rights. So almost got it right, but then I fucked it up.
Law. So you have to tell them, the cops have to tell them that what you're saying to me isn't just casual conversation. I am taking notes.
By the way,
you.
It's never casual conversation when you're talking to the police, even when they have you stopped. But like I said, they don't have to read it until you're officially detained. And then they do, because if you're officially detained, there's a presumption that you might be getting arrested, right? And so then you're supposed to be Mirandized.
I'm your adversary, and what you're telling me may, at some point in time, be repeated back to you in a court of law and used to hang you. So it's very important that any cop, anytime they talk to a suspect, they first stop and say, "Let me read you your rights." They read you the rights, and then
never talk to police. That's true.
Without.
I will say one thing, and I think Rekieta knows this, but or I don't know what he thinks about it, but he did do some talking back and forth with the police. Just don't talk to the police. No matter what, it's very hard, and they try to goad you into talking to them. And your natural inclination as a human being is, well, I'll explain it to them. I'll talk my way out of this. You know, wait, you're not seeing it the right way, or I didn't do this. Or don't worry about any of that. Don't say any of that. Do not give them permission to search anything ever, no matter what, under any circumstances. Handle that all in court, right? And also the police can arrest you for anything. It might not even get charged. The DA or county attorney, wherever jurisdiction you're in, excuse me, I'm still sick. They're the ones who decide who gets charged and who doesn't, not the police. They decide who gets arrested. So some people have some confusion over that too. Just don't talk to the police. But, you know, they caught him unawares, and he's also a lawyer, so he did do a little talking.
For your attorney, as many people
and we've
do,
discussed this on the program before.
Urgency and desperation, and like, maybe I can talk my way out of this. Many people ignore their rights. April Imholt was...
See, he said the same thing.
...a person who chose not to invoke her rights. And this is important because Rekieta believed that she was not properly Mirandized, and she said that she was not properly Mirandized, which means that anything that they told her or told the police can't be used against her because she wasn't Mirandized. In particular, Rekieta outright lied and told Officer Pomplin that April Imholt was not living at the house, that she was a guest. However, April Imholt told her officer, because they were separated and interviewed separately, told her officer interviewing her,
why you don't talk?
She was living there for the full month and was looking for her own place to stay, but that she actually did live in the house. So this is a material thing, because if
I remember going over this. Well, I guess it was about a year ago now, a little bit over a year, maybe a couple weeks over. I remember talking about this exact thing once some of the documents came out, and there was this exact discrepancy, and I was like, But again, you know, and especially if they just come up on you, the police, it's not, you know, even when you're driving and they're behind you, like, okay, the cops are here, like, they just come up on the house, right? And you're there, and obviously there were drugs there and stuff, and you're in a panicked state. The police know this, by the way. And they're trained in ways to coax you into talking. And that's a definite part of their training. The police also don't have to tell you the truth. I don't know if you know this or not. The police are allowed to lie to you at any point. They do not have to tell you the truth. That's been ruled upon, I think, by the Supreme Court. So the police can lie to get you to say more. They can say whatever they want. Well, I mean, within reason, I guess. But I think there are some limits. But truth is not one of those limits. So
At the house,
I don't think they can tell you somebody's dying or something. I don't know. I think there are some limits. I'd have to look it up. I'm not a constitutional scholar. I just know a little bit. And I know they can lie to you. So always keep that in mind.
her possessions in that house become a sort of
The lying thing is weird.
liability.
Yeah, it
If
is
she's
weird. The
just
police shouldn't be allowed to lie to you, but they are.
a guest at the house and she brings things into the house that are criminal.
Like, say you're getting interrogated. Maybe you got a couple, I don't want to say co-conspirators because I would assume you're guilty, but a couple, 2 or 3, you get arrested, right? They could say, so-and-so's over here singing like a bird, and you better hurry up and tell us everything because he's in the other room, and you wouldn't want to be hearing what he's saying right now if you were in that room, right? Whoa, I mean, man, I'm telling you, the first one to tell us everything is going to get the best deal. That type of shit. They do that type of shit all the time. And there's a thing called the prisoner's dilemma, if you want to look that up. But
then they can shift the blame on her, perhaps. But if it's his house and there's drugs in his house and she lives in his house, it's much harder to do that. And Rekieta is more mutually liable for those things. So this is a big thing that they were arguing about. If only, chat, there was some way to figure out if April was Mirandized. On Restream, I can try to reboot this.
yeah, he had problems with his stream. Yeah, they can flat out say, your friend's in there, man. Boy, he is really telling us some tales, man. You're not being forthcoming with us, I don't think. And, he's over there, man, he's saying this. And a lot of times they just keep it general, though, because they just want you to be kind of spooked out. So that
Tables
you'll jump in.
where the losers cry, clinking glass. I just don't.
It works better because most people are snakes. Well, yeah, I mean, most people act in their own self-interest. And that's a pretty universal rule across life. And, that's how it goes. And that's what the prisoner's dilemma deals with. Basically, I'll just read it, fine, since I talked about it. 2 suspects are arrested and interrogated separately. They are offered a deal. If one confesses and implicates the other, they go free, while the other gets a longer sentence. And that's talked about a lot of times. If both remain silent, they receive a lighter sentence. If they both confess, they both receive a moderate sentence. The dilemma arises because each suspect, thinking only of their own well-being, has an incentive to confess regardless of what the other suspect does. So that's the dilemma.
I can comprehend what is happening with this. What if I do that? Does that work better? If I just turn off the Wi-Fi? It does work better.
This deals with individual rationality and collective rationality. And that's why I remember this in poli-sci. Like individually, it's perfectly, you're like, well, my vote's not going to matter. That's most likely true. There are very few elections decided by one vote, right? So that's, a rational assumption, like my vote doesn't matter. But collectively, 20 million people making that decision. Well, okay, now it's turned into, yeah, it would have mattered actually. So
Should I sing again? Maybe that's
Well,
the bad
assuming you think elections are actually free and fair and being counted accurately, which is up for debate, but
song missing that. Okay, let me unpause. I didn't even capture that on recording. Okay. Felted tables where the losers
what is
cry,
he singing?
clinking glasses, something, and it was fine. And now
Okay.
we're good. I think I
Okay.
I will take this from the top.
Again?
And, 3 people were meant to go to. Now we had the court was open. The judge suppressed the evidence, which was already entered into evidence, and the women received a prompt email minutes after it was filed saying that they would know.
Maybe Josh can set up a payment plan. I would accept that. I don't know. I'm not counting on it, but we did make the bet. But it has a ways to go. So
Longer have access to the footage today if they showed up at court. So, to clarify, the body cam footage.
it's from
entered into
Casino
evidence,
Slot.
and it was entered into evidence
Yeah, I don't watch.
by Rekieta because Rekieta was hoping to prove that.
Yeah. We heard that part.
April,
Yes.
a resident of the, and after being Mirandized, that she had been living there for a month and was therefore a resident of the home, and her possessions were possessions that belonged to the household. So it is an incredible move, and it happened.
Now, I read something about it was entered into a portal and it wasn't actually official. And the county attorney said it was never entered, and they had a discussion with Rekieta's attorney about that. And that was part of the filing yesterday. And that's why the judge suppressed the evidence, because it was never actually evidence. It was potential evidence. So
extremely fast. So we will be suing the county of Candy-Ojai County to get the body cam footage because we have gone through a very rigorous process in order to obtain authorization to get it. And here's what we did. When we realized that the body cam footage had been entered into evidence by Rekieta, we asked the judge for we asked the sheriff to release it. The sheriff said he would not release it. Now, ordinarily, things like the body cam things entered into evidence.
The sheriff just straight up said, "Fuck you."
Retrieved from the court. There's no issue retrieving any other document.
And the sheriff, you really can't do anything to the. I mean, you could sue the sheriff's department, but he talks about this later on, and I already know. Sheriff has pretty much absolute immunity, unless he's, committing fraud or stealing or something like that. But if he takes an action as part of his official duty as sheriff, and he thinks it's the right action, you can't bring any charge against him for that. You can't sue him personally for that. Same for the prosecutor. So, and the prosecutors even goes further. So
entered into court as public record.
Yeah, there's no way he's winning the lawsuit. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
Very brief. They're not there.
I said that already on Twitter.
Video, but they are there. So in order to release them into the public under Minnesota data law, they have to be censored. And it is the responsibility of the Candy-Ojai County Sheriff's Office to censor the depictions of minor persons in the evidence and to release it to us. The sheriff said no. The sheriff said he would not do that, even though it was.
Plus, who is this really? And again, I don't know that it's embarrassing to either, but who would it be more embarrassing toward? I mean, Rekieta's already had all his stuff put out there for a year straight, and back and forth with Holt and all this. Who does this really embarrass the most? The adults and Nick Rekieta, or the kids? Right? And obviously it's the kids, and the sheriff probably thinks the same thing. And they're still going to school, and they have friends all over the place. I'm asking you if your parents, even maybe there's some haters watching right now. If say your parents got busted in a situation like this, and the house was not the way it should be, or whatever, messy, and this and that, and they can. They're going through, I think they go through the kid's bedroom even. I'm pretty sure they go through every room, right? They're supposed to, at least. And it's, they're walking around your house, and, who does this embarrass the most? the kids or Nick Rekieta, if there's any, if you even consider it embarrassing, which I mean, even if you don't, who's like being violated more by this information being released? The children or Nick Rekieta and April and his wife? I would argue it's the kids, right? So that's who's really being A-logged here. Now, I know, the A-logs and Josh himself would not agree, but that's what I really believe. I'm not just saying that. Because imagine especially the teenagers, imagine you're a teenager and, the house, it did sound like it was a little messy or whatever. And, they just busted your dad for drugs and all this stuff. And you're trying to get past that. The plea deal's already been entered. The case is over. There's was a question that's been resolved, whether or not this was even evidence in the first place. They say no now. So what benefit does the public have to this information? The video. None, in my opinion. I mean, the case has already been handled. It wasn't brought up in court. And I don't think I have to go through and read the order again. From what I remember, it was just put into the portal or was discussed as possible evidence. I have to go look. I'll have to look up the case number and all the documents and stuff. I didn't have time. I was listening to some of this actually, but there was no actual trial anyway. So I don't know. To me, it harms the kids more than anybody.
So we then petitioned the judge to make a declaration.
Now, if it harms the adults, that doesn't even really factor into anything. That doesn't matter. But, when minor children are involved, they do take those types of things into account. So,
statement that the evidence, the body cam footage, was evidence, and therefore it was public record. We have received this. Judge Wetzel, who is also
Greenwald did speak today. Well, put out a statement.
Issued an administrative order clarifying that the body cam footage was public record and therefore it should be released. We sent the judge's court order to the sheriff asking that the body cam footage be released as he said it should be. And the sheriff said, I will not be complying with the court order, which is just an absurd.
See, these people have never dealt with like small town sheriffs. I don't know if he was elected. A lot of times a sheriff is an elected position. It was where I was from. And I think in most places it is. And so I'm assuming he's an elected official, but he's also the fucking sheriff. And he's just like, nah, I don't care. Let the judge come enforce his order. Guess what? Judges can't enforce orders. Little known secret. And the sheriff just said, fuck you. I'm not complying with the order. And he's doing it as part of his official duty. You can sue him. You can, but you can't arrest him, or obviously he's the fucking sheriff. And so, judges can issue orders all they want, but somebody has to enforce those orders, or, make somebody comply if they don't want to. And if there's nobody making them comply and they're the sheriff, there ain't shit you can do about it other than try to sue them.
Statement that actually was so shocking to us that Hardin had to reach out for several other opinions just to make sure he had
first time cops. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that ain't the craziest thing I've heard a sheriff do. And he probably, again, I think he knew that this wasn't really supposed to come out in the first place. If I was Rekieta, I might be a little frustrated with my attorney for not, I haven't talked to him, so I don't know if he is, but for not making sure that this was nailed down. This should have been nailed down weeks ago, like right after the plea deal. A day or two later, this should have been just quietly done. They should have checked the record. And so that didn't happen. And, I would I would blame my attorney for that in the first place. And he was the one, who was talking about using it for evidence. I still don't think it was officially entered. From what I read, it was put in the portal. Now, again, don't quote me. I'll go back and do some more research on this weekend. This all happened very fast, so I haven't gotten to see every little document, and so
fucking mind, and he wasn't witnessing the sheriff actually saying that he was not going to comply with a court order because what the fuck. So after that happened, we considered suing. However, a law firm, a big law firm that Hardin knew, sent a letter to the sheriff and said, "What are you doing?" And after that, they got into contact. The sheriff actually knew this law firm, so they reached out, and we decided to contact the Minnesota Department of Administration. And we did this for a specific reason. Statutorily, if the government of Minnesota is doing something wrong and you sue them, you can win attorney's fees if certain things are in your favor. However, if you contact the Minnesota
you do
Department
have to disclose those things when you sue. Your full name, full legal name, and address. But if you sue, I'm assuming he would probably sue under his LLC, right? Then you could use the address of the LLC. So I don't know, but
administration, and you get them to issue an opinion that you are in the right, and the government still ignores itself and does not do what the opinion says to do, you are mandatorily awarded attorney's fees, meaning there is no discretion for the judge to consider. He must, under state law, issue you your attorney's fees. So
yes, we will cover Greenwald's statement for sure.
Administration, and we asked them to clarify if the sheriff was bound to his own court. And the Minnesota Department of Administration said yes, he should comply with this. We sent this letter to the sheriff, who said, okay, give me until June 2nd to respond. So we decided we would wait until June 2nd before suing. But if he did not respond by June 2nd with the body cam footage or with a timeline that he would release it to us, we would be suing the Candido County Sheriff because we were mandatorily awarded attorney's fees. So it's basically free to sue him. Today is May 30th, and on May 29th, so 4 days before he was going to issue his response to us, as he promised, the prosecutor filed a motion with the court under Judge Wetzel, the same Wetzel as before, saying that he wanted this.
Dixie Respector sent $1 on Rumble. Sherry's don't give a fuck. Sheriff in my county is a legit millionaire and has stakes in multiple local businesses. Leaked a few months ago him tasing some bitch and throwing her on the ground low.
That's what I'm saying, man. I feel, of course, I wish I didn't have as extensive of a record as I do of dealing with authorities, but sheriff's department don't give a fuck. And the sheriff himself definitely don't give a fuck. And police in general don't give a fuck. And I think people don't really understand that sometimes. And the whole idea that body cam is like foolproof. I've seen police just flick their body cam off or cover it up or whatever. Like police do shit like that all the time too. Now they didn't. I don't think they did it in this case, but I've legit had an officer when I had a case brought back up a few years ago who agreed with me on what I was saying, but he flipped his body cam off before he told me that, because I was like, this is bullshit that this is being brought back up like with a week to go before the, it's not the exact statute of limitations. Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah. Before the statute of limitations runs up on it being able to be brought back up because it had went to trial, but the main witness or whatever didn't show up. And so there was a certain time limit on them being able to go after it again. And literally with a week to go, they brought it back up. And I was like, man, this is total fucking bullshit. And before he agreed with me, he flipped off his camera and he's like, yeah, this is kind of bullshit, but technically under the law and I'm just doing my job. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't have a problem with you, but So that shit happens all the time.
Thomas. The prosecutor in the case filed a motion with the court under Judge Wetzel, the same Wetzel as before,
Wait.
saying that
Greenwald converted to Christianity? Well, I have his statement. I only read a little part of it. Where he's like, yeah, I did that, whatever. It was in private. He said he was hacked somehow. I don't know. We'll get to that for sure. But I didn't see the converted to Christianity part. I don't know. I haven't seen that yet, but
wanted this evidence suppressed because it wasn't technically entered into record, which is a false statement. It was used.
Oh, when the sheriff did that, he didn't have his body cam on? Yeah, I know. They do. Police are, and there's some good police, whatever. I've seen one or two in my day. That guy was a good guy. So you see him. But first off, even those, when it comes to the thin blue line and defending their guys, even if their guys are doing criminal shit, 99% of the time, they're going to defend their guys because there's a code amongst police officers to always defend each other, even the bad ones. So that's just a thing. And, what are you going to do? But as far as body cam being like this foolproof thing, now in this case, they had it on, they're just doing a search. I'm not even talking about it with this case, but people have this misconception that body cams really protect us and they do this and do that. Now, there are some instances where, it's come in handy to prove cops did this, that, or the other. But usually if they're going to do something crooked, they're going to make sure somehow their body cam malfunction or I don't know what happened. I accidentally turned it off and shit like that happened. Or didn't wear it. I forgot to put it on when I went to this scene and happens all the time.
To make important decisions about if somebody was Mirandized or not, as a result of Rekieta's own filings. The judge, the next day, approximately
little bit says he meant because he sucked a black foot like the Pope. I don't know that the former Pope actually sucked the black foot, but he did get down and there's an official name for it, but I forget. But the washing of the feet. But I think there's a different name for it. He did do some black foot washing, but I don't think he did it with his mouth and his tongue like Greenwald did. But
an hour and 50 minutes ago, and an hour after court opened, less than an hour, 51 minutes after court opened.
I sure hope Pope Francis never did that. I don't think so, but
not only approved his motion, but entered it into the docket and got the county clerk to tell the women that were going to visit this morning that they should not come, which is a level of alacrity that you never see in any level of the judicial system, which means that the prosecutor personally walked this to the judge and said, I need this signed right the fuck now.
And that's what I said was going to happen. When I saw it was the county attorney who filed that yesterday, I was like, oh, yeah, you guys ain't going to have a chance. This thing is going to be enacted like that. Because, and the judge, he's like, whatever. It's not a big deal to them. And the county attorney, again, I think this was part of the plea bargain. And I don't know that. I haven't been told that by Rekieta. I just want to be clear. That's just what I think. Josh thinks the same thing, by the way. And so does, I think, potentially criminal. Because that's the obvious answer. Why did they act so quickly? Why are they helping Rekieta? Well, because they said that this was not going to come out. Now, they probably said it informally, but there may be some type of record of it. And I don't think the plea deal, Rekieta would have any reason to want that with Drew, but Josh even mentions that possible lawsuit or, misrepresentations were made by the county attorney on this. And now my kids have been irreparably damaged. And, I thought he said this wasn't coming out. There are a lot of different problems that could happen there. And when I saw it was the county attorney who filed that, I said, well, there's no way the judge is going against that. And it's some out-of-towners coming in here into the small town trying to get this footage, like out of town, big city guys coming into our place. No. We'll get this done real quick and you ain't going to get shit. And I said that last night. And you can hear it by Sean's voice. I said, this guy doesn't sound like he thinks he's going to be a winner or going to be seeing this footage anytime soon. And by God, they moved even faster than I thought. But yeah, that's probably what happened. Because the county attorney has a relationship like that with the judge. And he probably did just walk up into the judge's chambers, or if he has a separate office, which he probably does. Some judges practice law outside of being a judge, believe it or not, but whatever. In a local format, the judge that we had, the district court, you could hire him to represent you elsewhere too. Now, not obviously in district court, but a lot of localities, that's pretty common. So anyway, he probably just walked right into his office and said, look, we need this done quick. I said this, that, and the other to Rekieta's attorney, and, had a plea deal anyway, wasn't brought up in trial. I still think there's an issue about it being in the portal versus being actually entered into evidence. So again, the portal means potential evidence, and then it goes from there to official evidence. So I still believe there's a question about that too. And I think the county attorney talks about that. So I guarantee you, he walked right in there and said, we need this signed ASAP. And it needs to go into effect beginning of business day, Friday. And it did.
Because they're about to intervene. And it's much harder to undo something that has happened in court than it is to intervene immediately and to stop it from happening in the first place.
Yep.
So they did. And
now he mentions too later on, somebody asked him, are they worried about them just destroying the footage? Which honestly, crazier things have happened. If the sheriff if he just said fuck it and destroyed the footage, it might be gone now. What are you going to do? You can sue. The sheriff can't be arrested for that. So he just said, well, we no longer had any need for this footage and we deleted it from all our servers and we don't even have it anymore. Sorry. What are you going to do? Me can sue him, but you ain't ever going to see that footage. So there's a real possibility that could happen. Matter of fact, I'd put it at 50-50 that the shit's already been deleted. Because there hasn't been a lawsuit filed. It could be deleted today. There's nothing stopping the sheriff from deleting that footage today. It might not fucking exist. I'm not sure if the Kiwi fuckers even understand that. It might be gone already. I would put it at 50-50, literally, that the footage is already gone. And there may have been talk behind the scenes about that happening. I don't know. I'm being speculative. I have not spoken to Rekieta. I want to be very clear. But again, crazier things have happened. Maybe there was a discussion like, hey, we'll get this done quick. Sheriff will delete it because he'll say he doesn't need it anymore. And then they'll just be blowing in the wind. Good luck. And good luck suing the county anyway. Probably not going to win. But if you did, okay, get some money, whatever. Now, I'm sure it's a small county. They wouldn't want to pay out much. But I'm just saying, crazier things have happened. And that footage might already be gone. Do not be shocked if the sheriff just fucking deletes the footage. Nothing is stopping him from doing that, but from my understanding. Now, again, I would have to study the issue deeper and will over the weekend, but from my understanding, nothing is stopping. There's no pending litigation yet. Unless they get a lawsuit filed, they should have had something immediate today. Now, that would stop him. If there was a lawsuit filed and then he deleted it, okay, that'd be one thing. But there's today, there's the weekend too. Now, normally they don't do stuff over the weekend, but he's the sheriff. Maybe he says, I wanted to work this Saturday. And this was right at the top of my list, deleting that footage. Wait, you can sue the sheriff, not personally, but you can sue the sheriff's department. You can sue the county, whatever. But you still ain't going to get the footage. So, in my mind, there's a very good chance it's already gone. Do not be shocked. And I've been pretty dead on with my prediction on this. Do not be shocked if that footage is already gone. This is how it works in a small town. And they're all on the same page. Judge, prosecutor, quote unquote, county attorney, sheriff, get it gone. Delete it. Shut it down. And they do it. And then what's these big city out of town? These big city out of towners, what are they going to do? Are they going to sue us? Okay, good luck. We run the courts around here. Are you starting to understand? Do you understand? Oh yeah, we control everything around here. Good luck in our own fucking setup. I mean, you can keep going up the chain. You're not getting past I don't even think the Minnesota State Supreme Court would take it, but possibly. You might have a right to go there, actually. I don't know. But it ain't getting past that. I don't think a federal court would take it. I know the Supreme Court's not taking it. So, and then the footage is gone anyway.
Now we're going to have to sue anyway.
Am I taking calls?
And
Yes.
undo the thing that already happened, which is a losing position. But it theoretically, under the rules of law, it is actually possible and actually likely. But it is an incredible circumstance. It is unbelievable.
Yes, the call line is open
and
at all times, unless, I'm in the middle of explaining something or whatever. But yes, the call-in line is open at all times, and I should make that more clear. And if you do call in, I'll let you talk for a minute because I need to step away just for a sec. Housemeister, what's up, man?
What's up, Ethan?
Now, what do you think about this before I do step away for a sec? Then I'll let you monologue a little bit.
Yeah, I'll take care of the chat. I'll entertain him.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. Yeah. I want to hear it though.
Delusional.
Yeah, I want to hear what you think first, and then I'll be right back. But yeah, delusional. That's kind of what I think too. Yes, I do understand Moon taking it as far as he can. I already predicted that, right? So that doesn't surprise me at all. But these people, and again, I know you're in Europe. We talked about the German elections, etc. But a great segment, one of my favorite. Now, I know you're over there. I don't know, if the small towns work the same way over there, but I have experience, not on this exact issue, but I know how it works in a small town where it's, a very tight system. It's not New York City, right? It's not a Chicago. It's Spicer, Minnesota. It's, Kindy, Ohio County. They're all on the same page. And what are you going to,
Yes.
how are you going to defeat that? Go ahead.
Well, it's pretty much the same everywhere, I think. Like if you're in the small town, the people know each other, especially the court business. Like Rekieta knows all these people. Like he's a lawyer. These people all know each other. And it's insane that Josh Moon thinks, he as an outsider, he can just barge in there, just take a crowbar to everything, and rip it all open. If the judge doesn't want this stuff to get out, the judge has way more power than Josh and his imaginary cult, and his imaginary power he has on the internet. Like the judge has actual real power, and if the judge says, "Oh, I don't want this stuff to get out," like Josh can quench as much as he wants. Like it's not going out. That's just the way it is.
I agree, and I've said the same thing. And again, like I said, it's a tight little. The whole county is 42,000 people. The whole county. That's not a big town. That wouldn't be a big town. 42,000 people. They all, like you said, that means their legal community is pretty small there too, right? And like they all know each other. Even in bigger places, most of them know each other, right? But especially a place like that, all the lawyers know each other. They all have attended the same soirees and get-togethers and barbecues and stuff. And some of them have, for instance, my attorney in my small town, although it's next to a big city, but West Memphis, my attorney, guess what? He was married to the judge's sister. And how many favorable rulings do you think I got in that court? Just about every single one. And I've told the story how I finally got out of all my charges there. And the fix was in, quite frankly. I'm just going to be real. And it just boom, 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 boom. Prosecutor had no chance. And it's because they were literally family. And, I made the decision to have that guy always represent me on everything. I mean, he was a good lawyer as well. But,
we have a saying in Germany, we say, Erfolg gibt Recht. Success makes right. Yes. If it doesn't matter how much he knows about the law, if he's married to the judge's daughter, and he can get people out of prison and out of jail time, he's a good lawyer. Fucking how much he knows about the fucking law, who cares?
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't call him, necessarily the greatest legal scholar, but he wasn't bad. But like I say, he was married to the judge's, not his daughter, but sister. Sister. But same difference. Same difference. And who's to say? I never heard about this, but who's to say they didn't talk, before they came into the courtroom about how things are going to go and what you should say to get this outcome, et cetera, et cetera. That type of shit happens all the time. So,
yeah.
Now I'll let you talk for a second.
And it's just fucking stupid. No, if you want to step away, I can just talk to the chat. It's no problem.
Yeah, I'm only going to be gone for 1 minute.
Yeah, just go ahead. I just think Josh Moon, he's delusional. Whatever you think about the guy, at this point, you just have to accept this body cam footage, it's not coming out. And him thinking, suing the judge, going in there and strong-arming, the whole fucking court to his will is gonna be anything but a total disaster for his case, is delusional. If he's actually smart and not actually just a dumb piece of shit, like I think, maybe he's just doing it to grift his audience for some more money. He's gonna do another fundraiser. Help me sue the Supreme Court. Help me sue the Candy, Ohio County. He's gonna do another fundraiser, raise $10,000, and try to bring this to the Supreme Court, which is not gonna work. The Supreme Court is not gonna side with Joshua Moon, owner of the Kiwi Farms, over the Candy, Ohio County Court.
They won't even take the case. And I mean, even the state Supreme Court, they may have a right to the state Supreme Court. I'm not sure, but who do you think they're going to side with? The local authorities or Josh Moon? And then, like I said, when you think about what I said, nothing's stopping them from just deleting the footage now.
Yeah.
It might be gone now.
Yeah.
That's not out of the question.
I mean, it should be gone.
That's what I think. If first thing I would have done after that was entered this morning is delete it. And then whatever. You guys can do whatever you want. It's not here now, so sue us if you want, but we'll see you in court.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do another fundraiser. I will say it gets his people fired up regardless, though, right? So it gens up just on its own, super chats and support and viewership, because they all, they've been after Rekieta pretty hardcore for what, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. So, it's a natural thing to do, really, to keep pushing this just as far as you can.
Yeah. Did you see the notes he got from the video footage? Apparently, he got his women, quote unquote, from the Kiwi farms to go in there and watch the body cam footage.
I did. I have them actually.
Yeah. They are so fucking bad. Like they read like a fucking 4th grade screenplay. Like it's fucking stupid.
And it has.
I don't know who he got to write all that down, but
you can tell a woman definitely wrote this. I'll say. Stupid. You can definitely tell a woman wrote. I'm so heartbreaking. Oh god.
It was such a heartbreaking moment.
Oh, tears like running down her face. Like she was watching. Whatever, go ahead.
I just don't understand like the process, how he got those notes. Like why was there just the 3 women that were allowed to watch the body cam footage for no reason? And were allowed to take notes, and then it all just gets shared on the internet. Like, what's the process behind that? How did that happen?
There was a snafu, like I said, where they had, and I don't know if it's an official order, but they had got the judge to at least say that they're allowed to see it because it was evidence. But I think there's a discrepancy between, and so did the county attorney, whether it was just in the portal or entered as evidence. And, he said he had a conversation with Rekieta's lawyer. Maybe I'll try to pull up that order if I can find it. But it was read on potentially criminal last night. And he's like, no, it was never evidence. And that's the county attorney saying that. And it's like, well, why would the judge and the other attorney saying that too? So are you calling them liars? Right? Like they're, officers of the court, right? Members of the court, or members of the bar, but the county attorney and the judge, officers of the court, I mean, what are you just going to call those people liars? Well, you got a high bar to go. And so if you're in a lawsuit situation, you're in front of other judges too, right? They're members of the bar, officers of the court. And when you're saying all these guys are lying, well, you have a really high bar. And they're naturally biased towards their colleagues, towards the state. That's just how it goes. So
exactly.
I did see the notes though. Yeah, I have them here. Maybe I'll do my own read through, but
I mean, it's I had to drown it out a little because listening to Josh Moon talk is it's grating. But I was thinking about reading them on my own time. At some point again, because some of the stuff I heard from that, like, it's fucking stupid. Like, whoever took those notes is fucking retarded.
Well, they're a woman, so
yeah.
Not all women, just about 98%. But yeah, and it I believe him that it was a woman. I definitely do believe that. Let's see. I could read through some of it right here. But the house is extremely filthy. The floors are covered in clothes and junk in some areas. There's no walkway at all. You actually have to walk on stuff to move through the space. Here, I'll let this go through.
Dixie Respector sent $1 on Rumble. SCOTUS Judge, Josh Moon vs. Kandiyohi County. Why does that name sound familiar? Oh yeah, the guy who owns the website that was accused of swatting a sitting congressman. Lol, nope, throws out suit.
Yeah, that's the other
Something
thing.
like that.
That's the other thing. If you do a little, it'd be like me trying to do a big lawsuit, and then they look at my name and they're like, "Yeah, this fucking guy." Like, I don't think so. Right? You know what I mean? Just if you think that type of shit doesn't happen too, yeah, it's just like, yeah, okay. Ethan Ralph, infamous internet person, and no, I think I'm just throwing this in the trash, right? So yeah, that kind of thing happens too. But you actually have to walk on, and I tend to think, quite frankly, a lot of this is exaggerated. But I have no way of knowing because we haven't seen the footage, right? So that's
how is it even?
Yeah, go ahead.
How is this even legal to just put out there? Like, you are pretending like you saw this booty cam footage, which isn't supposed to get out, is not supposed to be shown to anyone, and then you make notes on it. And you're acting as a figure of authority because apparently you've seen this fucking body cam footage. And now you're just saying, oh, the room is filthy. You have to walk on a walkway of filth to just get anywhere. The children are living between syringes, drugs. I mean,
what I think happened
is
is
slander.
Well, what I think happened is, Rekieta's attorney and the prosecutor thought they already had this taken care of. This is obviously what happened. They thought that, there was no way to access this, right? But they didn't talk to the judge. And so, Noel and his lawyer go up there and say, hey, this, says it's in evidence. Can, we access this now? And they get a little order. And then it seems like Rekieta's lawyer and the county attorney didn't find out about this until yesterday. And maybe somebody at the courthouse alerted them. I saw Noel had posted on Kiwi Farms that I guess when his girl, woman, whatever, went up there yesterday, there was a different mood in the building about them seeing the footage that day. You know why? Because everybody knew this wasn't supposed to be happening at that point, and it was going to get shut down as soon as possible. So that's why the mood had changed. Now, if you got to blame anybody, really, Rekieta's lawyer, honestly, should have had this. This should have been done a couple day after the plea deal. Now, you can't make it. I don't think it can officially be part of the plea deal. I don't think this sort of thing is something you can put officially in a plea deal. But you can certainly, lawyers do this all the time. Like, hey, if he takes this, all right, might not be officially part of the deal, but, part of it is off the record. We make sure this footage doesn't come out. And I'm sure that probably happened. And then they didn't know maybe that it was listed as evidence or had been put in the portal and mistakenly listed as evidence or whatever. And Noel and his lawyer slipped in and they didn't talk to the judge about it either because they thought they already had it fixed up. And according to the county attorney, they'd already had a discussion about it not being officially evidence. So, they just never told the judge about it, which is they should have, obviously. So the judge probably didn't even know, right, that this was the case. And as soon as he knew, guess what? It got shut the fuck down. So if I was Rekieta, I would be pissed at my lawyer, honestly, for this even, that woman being allowed to take the notes. So I think that's what happened, though. I think that's exactly what happened. The county attorney and Rekieta's lawyer thought they had this already squared away, and they didn't check everything they should have checked. And they didn't, they had that conversation. Maybe they just didn't look through the records. It looks like it was just an oversight. And as soon as they found out about it, they changed that oversight, right? So, and it's a shame that his attorney didn't get on a little bit better. Although you could blame the county attorney too. It's both of them. But when it's your shit on the line, it's your lawyer that you're mad at, not the county attorney, right? I think that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but this is very grimy. Like all these alleged accounts, from Kiwi farmers. Like this is putting it out like it's the truth. Like this shouldn't be legal. Like just saying, oh, I saw the body cam footage. Now I'm gonna write this account where I'm gonna tell everyone that the house is filthy as fuck. They're all on drugs and the children are being beaten and shit. Like this shouldn't exist. Like either the body cam footage comes out or not, but this note shit is, I don't know. This is grimy.
Yeah, because. And of course, what people, proponents of the footage coming out will say, well, just put the footage out and then we can all just actually see it. But these notes are literal, it's hearsay. It's from somebody else who they say I'm assuming they got to see it. I don't know. It looks like they got to see it, but who knows if they added anything extra into this, right?
They added. I'll say they added extra into that. Like, this is so. Reading through this is so biased. This is so shit. This is obviously like someone taking sides here and making it worse than it actually is. If you read through this, you can tell.
Well, yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, and I will read through a little bit. I'm looking through chat right now. Unreliable witness accounts by desperate Kiwi Farms users that want Josh's attention. Well, I mean, they have every motivation to spice it up, right? If it's just like, oh yeah, the house is a little dirty, and I don't know, there's a couple bottles laying around or whatever. That's not gonna be very jazzy, is it? Right? They couldn't even walk. There were clothes all over the hallway, and oh my god! And so I see Joffrey in chat says, so Josh has already pissed off the judge of this small town court. LOL. Great start to the lawsuit. Yeah, I don't think this is going to endear them to the local system. No. Because
antagonizing the judge and talking down to him, that's a great way to get yourself out of legal problems and get a favorable decision in front of the court.
And even if it's in front of another judge, they all talk to each other. They all know each other. Maybe you're in front of the judge's best friend and you don't know it. And you can't, there's no way for you to know it, right? Because you're not from there. You don't fucking know the lay of the land. And, he's got a big shot lawyer, but he ain't from fucking Kendi, Ohio County. And, right, like, so they don't know all the interpersonal relationships. And that shit is very important, really, in any court setting, but especially in a very tight community like that. And, I know he put out the notes to, I guess, spite Rekieta and to have something. The smarter option would have been, in my opinion, to pocket those notes for now and then proceed with whatever he's going to try to do with the lawsuit. If the footage still exists, like I said, that might just be gone already, but proceed. And then if he either finds out the footage is already gone or he loses his lawsuits or exhausts his legal options, then put out the notes, right? At that point, because you have nothing to lose. Now you put out the notes and, you got your stream out of it. Yeah, sure. But you probably pissed them off.
It's going to be bad for his case.
Yeah.
I honestly think this makes him look bad because to anyone with half a brain, which is, no one on the Kiwi Farms, this makes Josh just look like a whiny baby. Like, he got slapped down by the judge and he's just going, well, I actually do have the body cam footage. I have these notes from my Kiwi farmers, so I actually won. You dumbasses. It just makes him look petty and stupid.
I agree. And, I don't know what his counter argument to that would be, but I certainly agree with that 100%. Also, there's a Discord overlay. Let me see. Is that bleeding over to the screen? OBS added that without my permission. I'm trying to figure out. I wouldn't mind putting it on the screen, but
I'm not seeing it on the screen.
Okay.
But I had that problem earlier too.
Yeah, I turned on OBS and it just
up
added a Discord overlay. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to do that, but thanks, fucking piece of shit. Regardless.
Yeah, but it's just in the OBS. It's not actually on the screen.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he should have just held on to these, and then maybe at the end or when he knew, like I said, if he knew the footage is gone, okay, whatever, nothing to lose then. But now you've poked your thumb in their eye once again. You've got on here, grandstanding and all this stuff. I don't think that was the right play, but I'll read through a little bit more. Let's see. The filth and hoarding are immediate and overwhelming. The mess you see in Nick's kitchen when he shows it on stream is nothing compared to the rest of the house. That one space is clearly staged. It's obvious he only cleans the visible area specifically for streaming. So it's written in that style. And a lot of this stuff is already known. Officers called to a child who was downstairs because it was in some of the arresting warrants and documentation. We read some of this stuff on air already. So a lot of this is duplicate. Now, they don't go into a lot of descriptions of the house or whatever, although I think there was a little bit of that. But
I mean, some of this is like super detailed, extremely minute by minute, totally going into everything, like stuff you wouldn't even be able to see actually on the body cam footage. And then other stuff is just like child is heard crying in bedroom and stuff like this. It's all over the place, this shit. I can't believe this is real. I don't believe this is real.
Well, we have no way of knowing now, do we? But I know they have every motivation to have jazzed it up. Let's see. I'm just skimming through looking for some. Audio is unclear.
The search continues. A nitrous tank is visible in the house. For example, shit like that. How would you know it's a nitrous tank immediately?
I mean, maybe she's
you
a
see
big
it for mostly 1 minute. At most 1 minute.
And somebody, I was in Josh's chat, and they're like, What do you think about nitrous, Ralph? I'm like, I've never fucking done nitrous. I couldn't tell you. And they're like, somebody else said that's the one drug you haven't done. It's like, well, there's actually a lot of drugs I haven't done. I mean, there's quite a few I have too, but no, I don't know anything about nitrous. I've had a nitrous at the dentist's office, for a couple minutes or whatever. I guess that made me a little lightheaded, a little goofy or whatever, but that's all I know. I've never done galaxy gas. I did a whip it one time, and I was like, I don't like this. Fuck this. And that's not even.
Josh was also stupid with his take on nitrous because he said, "Oh, nitrous doesn't actually get you high. Nitrous just it destroys your brain cells, and that's what makes you act goofy." Like he doesn't know anything he's talking about. He just repeats shit he heard somewhere once, and then he just goes with it and just tells blatant misinformation like all the time.
Well, the thing is, Josh doesn't know anything about drugs, which is not necessarily a bad thing, obviously. But a lot of these people talk about drugs like they're users or like they know anything about it. And you wouldn't take a drug if it didn't get you high.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I'm going to tell you from a drug user and trying to get past that, obviously. And every time you got to get back on the horse, so to speak, it's a process, right? But you don't take things if they don't get you high, right? And so that's why when I talk about Xanax, which I'm still tapering off of, it doesn't get me high unless I was to drink with it. So when I take my taper dose, it's like, okay, it kind of mellows you out a little bit. If you have any worries that day, it kind of puts those to the side a little bit. But other than that, it does. I don't get high. So I would never just take a Xanax to get high because it doesn't get me high. Now, why would he take nitrous if it didn't get him high? That doesn't make any sense. And I've never done it, but I've heard people talk about it, and I'm pretty sure it does get you high. Joffrey, I saw that in chat. But yeah, I see this from a lot of these nerds. And I don't know if it's fair to call Josh a nerd. I don't know if he would disagree with that or not, but
he is 100%.
Well, I mean, people can make their own decision on that, but certainly a lot of nerds on his site who know nothing about drugs. And then every once in a while, if I'm skimming through, I'll see somebody on there who's clearly a user and knows what they're talking about, and then they're totally ignored usually. They're totally ignored in favor of fan fiction and this and that. And Rekieta was dosing his child with cocaine, which makes no sense whatsoever. But they're few and far between, which again is good for them. But I am a user historically. And so, an addict, you don't, even once you stop, you're always an addict, you're always an alcoholic, whatever. So yeah, I know that mindset. You don't drink, for instance, right? Because it tastes good usually, right? Like you drink to get drunk.
Yes.
Right? Alcoholics do, at least. That's the sign of an alcoholic. One of the like checklists is, do you drink to get drunk? To the point where you're like drunk, not just buzz, but drunk. And if you say yes, that's one of the major signs of being an alcoholic. So anyway, you don't take drugs if you're an addict or a user. And I don't know if Rekieta, I don't think he considers himself an addict, but a user, you don't take them unless they get you high. So that's pretty basic stuff. I'm looking through. Yeah, nitrous tank visible in the house. Okay, could have been an oxygen tank.
I mean, how would you confirm that? I mean, this has to be slander. Just saying nitrous tank is visible in the house, like that is actually real. You confirmed that 100%. I mean, if you were saying, it's a tank that looks like a nitrous tank, I mean, I'd buy it. But presenting this like this is just,
and look,
it's grimy.
It could have been a nitrous tank. Like, I don't know. But that's not. What, does she have extensive experience with nitrous? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nick can be heard outside yelling, "Get out of my house." He says something about probable cause and a search warrant. He sounds indignant. We heard a lot of this. We knew he was indignant already. Let's see. As he returns, the camera catches all the kids sitting on the ground outside with Kayla. They are huddled against the house. The scene is heartbreaking. Okay.
Yeah, totally not biased.
Well, you could have
totally accurate.
Yes, it's like, okay. I mean, it's not optimal, obviously, when the police raid your house and all your kids are there. But, worse things have happened. We just talked about a brutal murder. Was that yesterday? The sharking story? Where kids have seen their parents murdered.
I watched that one. That was fucked up.
It was crazy.
That was crazy.
I was like, I didn't know it was going to get that deep when I dug into the story, because I just saw the picture on Twitter, and then
they all had the shark shirts too.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, dude, it was fucked. I felt bad laughing at some of that, but some of it was still funny. But then it turns out, I was like, oh, the guy killed the mother probably, and no. He killed his stepmother, his stepsister. He carjacked somebody. He went and killed the mother in front of the children. Well, they had the blanket over them, but they were right there. He was hunting for other people to kill in the first house, and it's like he gun butted the grandmother. It's like, holy shit, this guy was a fucking psycho. I mean, it would have been psycho to kill just the mom anyway, but I mean, it was like off the charts psychopathic killing. I was just like, holy fuck, when I went into that story. It was and then he just got sentenced 2 days ago. I was like, oh, okay, I see why this is popping up on Twitter. But fridge is being used as a nightstand. Okay, I mean, let's see. Enters a bedroom. Well, it's in the bedroom, so they just probably set stuff on top of it.
She also refers to the fridge as the kack fridge multiple times throughout this document. Which I don't get. Why is the fridge cacked?
I don't know.
And, like being so biased that you insult a man's fridge?
Why is the fridge? What do they think the fridge is just there for? Like when M-Hole was over or something? Like, I don't understand. It's a fridge. Some people have mini fridges in their bedrooms. It's not that uncommon, actually. I've considered getting a little mini fridge here, but I don't really. I mean, I can just walk into the other room real quick, so I'm like retarded. But when I was in Richmond and I was upstairs, or even at another house here upstairs, it was like, man, it sure would be nice to have a little mini fridge here, so I could just reach and grab a beverage or whatever. But that's not that.
They're not even that expensive.
No, they're not.
It's very easy to get one.
They're what? Probably a couple $100, $300 max, I would think. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But no, they're not expensive at all. So, Aaron bought the fridge for Kayla. Okay, well, I didn't know that. See, I'm not. I kind of stopped paying attention to every little detail about this. I don't know, last fall sometime. And especially once it was clear this was going to be pled out. It's like, okay, whatever. We'll wait and see what the plea deal is. And I haven't followed every little back and forth that Aaron has said about who bought who what, and did we, do this or that. Even the stuff at, if it wasn't on Twitter, I probably didn't see it. Or if it wasn't on this show, I didn't see it, right? So if it wasn't on one of those two places, I didn't see it. And the Hackamania stuff, I saw some of the stuff on Twitter, but I didn't even go watch the whole, no offense to Rekieta, but like, I was like, I just don't care beyond the text and stuff that I saw on Twitter. And I think I saw a clip or two, but I didn't go watch the whole segment because I
gotta say, I've got enough problems going on in my own life. I come here for some entertainment.
Yeah.
And if the whole fucking bit is someone else's family problem, like at some point I'm gonna say, okay, this is, this is enough.
Well, that's one of the
I'm kind
things.
of out of this.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I talked about. When I first came back day before yesterday, I did talk about some of my family stuff, even one or two of the problems. But I've been doing way too much of that for the last couple years, really. And at a certain point, people just don't want to hear about it because they have their own problems, like you said. And, if you have a couple mentions or a little joke here and there about a problem you're going through, yeah, that's fine. But once you make it like a centerpiece, and this is my fault, you make it like a centerpiece of your show, and it's like a big thing. You're turning yourself into the drama. Eventually, people are like, not everybody, but a lot of people are just like, all right.
Your haters will always love it.
Yeah, they love
people
it.
who don't like you and don't want you to succeed, they want that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Those are the people who want you to talk about it. The people who hate you. Not the people who like you, and they're on your side, sure, but they're like, oh, man, you're not. They'd rather hear about what's going on that day with other people, and with the scene, and with the news, or some interesting video or story or topic that you want to talk about, rather than problems with your baby mama, or you can't see this or see that, right? Like, it's like, okay, I'm dealing with my own shit.
That can be fun once in a while. It's like frosting.
Sure, yes.
Having a little frosting on your cake is nice,
Yes.
but if your entire cake is always just frosting, that's the only people who want that are mentally unwell.
I agree 100%. Now, that day I did the lawsuit reveal, which obviously didn't help relations in a certain way, but okay, that was a big deal, right? But the constant back and forth, and I have a really big concern in my life right now, and you could probably obviously figure it out. I've talked about it. But if I just come out here and talk about that every day, and it's on my mind every single day, so I have to remind myself not to do that. But it's like, it detracts from the show. People don't really want to hear it after a certain point. And it throws me off too, or it's like, gets me in a bad spot. I won't say bad headspace, but like somebody I know said one time, but it just changes your mood, and it's like, whatever, think about that shit off air. And if you have to make a joke every once in a while, it's different. But I guess that's why it's the mini fridge. Yeah. Oh, that's the one they took to Hackamania, I guess, isn't it? Okay. I get it now. Let's see. Begin photographing evidence inside Nick's streaming room. The room is far smaller than expected, and the condition is much worse than anything seen on stream. There are bottles of alcohol everywhere. The entire space is buried under hoarded junk, electronics, collectibles, and random gear. His 5-monitor setup and other equipment are visible, but everything around it is chaotic. The curated background people see during streams is a total facade. Well, first off, I don't know why she thought he was streaming from some fucking grand ballroom anyway. I guess the room does look maybe like it might be big, but I don't know. It's just the angle, right? I don't know what's around it. You can only see your frame of view here. And I got news for people. Most streamers don't exactly have the cleanliest setup right around the stream. So everything you can't see on camera, for instance, right now, if you can see my desk, now it's not terrible, but it's very cluttered. So about once every couple of weeks, I'll clean it all up, clear it out. And it's better that way. But when you're sitting here for hours and hours at a time, And things start piling up, and here's my bag for when I go to the store or whatever. Things are sitting here. There's a chip sitting here for when I had a sandwich last night. It's like, okay, yeah, I should have took those back into the other room, but I just sat them down because I had something else to do on the computer. It's like, because you're here in this space for so many hours every single day, and it's like, yeah, I'll take care of it, whatever. And then when you get done streaming, the last thing you want to do immediately is like, tidy up. You've seen Asmongold's shit, right? Like, I mean, my shit doesn't look like that, to be clear, but it could look better. There's a bunch of clothes over here stacked up, and it's like, okay, yeah, I should take care of that. But it's just me and the cats living here. It's like, whatever, not that big a deal.
Adol Wolf sent $1 on Rumble. Do these people know the ID Crime channel is free online? If you want to hear poorly acted voiceovers and reenactments of actual criminals, well, there you go.
Yeah, I didn't actually know it was free online, but no, I do. But bitches love that shit, by the way. That's true crime. But yeah, I see Dudley's right. These people act like they never gathered a mess around near their PC after spending hours on it. Yeah, it's pretty common.
I mean, this was written by a bunch of women also, you gotta keep in mind.
Well,
I mean, if this was written by a man, he probably wouldn't get that mad at all the dirt. But, when my girlfriend comes over, I always have to get the fucking 30-minute talking to about how the apartment looks.
Well, because guys don't really...
And it kind of sounds like whatever this woman's writing now.
Well, because guys...
My monitor setup is aligned with chaos, all this stuff. There's hunks of cheap electronics lying around.
Yeah, anytime I've had a chick over here, which I have several times, and Denny came visited several times, I would have to do, it's like, all right, okay, I'm going to have to go spend, some hours cleaning this fucking place up. But if it's just me or my lawyer come by or another friend or whatever, guys don't really give a shit unless it's just like, some overbearing, like,
guys don't give a shit because their place usually doesn't look
that's what I'm saying, yeah. Unless some overbearing smell or something's dying in there or some shit, that's about the limit for me. Other than that, I don't give a shit. It's like, oh, your house is messy? Like, who gives a fuck? So, yes, that is a cat. She thinks she is entitled to sit right here, even though I need this space. She doesn't think I do. But powerchat.live/the Roffertor Killstream. Oh, I'm used to saying that. Not Killstream.live/tip. $sign Sunset Squad on Cash App. Rumble Rants. We'll see if we can hit the goal here today. A little bit slower pace. I don't know. Today might be the day we miss it. If we do hit it, we will do the movie. So... we shall see.
I mean, guys, come on. Don't let the streak die. They've been gloating the last few days, because they didn't have the last hour of the stream.
Yes.
They were so happy. Oh, the goal is that. The goal is that. You really want to give those guys a W. I mean, look at those pieces of shit.
And they'll definitely celebrate. Well, they were celebrating already when it didn't even die. And I was like, okay, well, the streak didn't actually die. Here's a screenshot, but whatever. You can see that the stream cut off. But regardless, and if it doesn't get hit, okay, one day that'll probably happen, whatever. But I'll be celebrating the streak itself once that does happen. But yeah, let's if we can, let's not let it be not
we
today.
We gotta get at least to 300.
Yeah,
we gotta get at least 300, guys. Come on.
Not today of all days. They're looking for something to celebrate today. So hopefully not today of all days. If it happens, it happens. But hopefully not.
You hate Josh Moon, you can give Ethan Ralph a tenner. You see the money that Josh gets every fucking day, with his scamming fucking crowdfunding shit. This is a crowdfunded show. And the content, the thing you're crowdfunding, the content is already being delivered. So you can chip in a tenner. Come on, guys.
This show is supported by viewers like you, as PBS says in the United States. But here it's actually true. I don't get any government fucking subsidy. And so here it is 100% true. This show is supported by viewers like you. So if you can support, please do. But also, there's not going to be any shows this weekend, so you won't have to hear me shaking my cup out here for a couple of days anyway. So you're gonna get a couple of days off of that regardless. But I'll skim through a little bit more. Let's see. They go through a bag full. Well, I'll be damned.
Mary Jane sent $10
Well,
on Rumble.
I will be damned, and you should actually be able to hear the song since you're on Discord. Fuck. I was right about my assumption. They just didn't get on their clerical shit. I'm glad he got off his fucking ass because I guarantee they would have been demanding that I pay the money, and I already see them saying, "Oh well, Ralph, he shouldn't get the money," and da 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 da. Well, and then they say, "Well, he said he didn't remember it," and it's like, well, I actually didn't fully remember us finalizing it. because I was fucked up during that conversation. So I didn't fully remember it. But somebody sent me the link last night, and it 100% was agreed on right on air. Immediately he agreed to it. So I don't know. We'll see. I know it's a long ways into the future anyway, because he's gonna take it as far as he can. But we'll see if he actually pays out at the end, and maybe it changes and I have to pay out. I don't think that's gonna happen. And then hopefully just delete the footage. Sheriff, delete the footage. If you haven't already and you're watching this show, I know you're a big fan of the Killstream. Delete the footage now. Hopefully it's already gone. Now, Clouded Trigger sent this in. Let's hear it. I know this one. You know this one. House.
I know this one.
Yes. 14%. Also, you get a movie tonight.